When you type a prompt into an AI chatbot, the response feels instantaneous. You ask a question, and glowing text seems to materialize out of thin air, giving you a coherent, perfectly structured answer. Tech executives market this technology as a pristine, autonomous intelligence. We are told these systems will easily manage energy grids, invent new molecules, and ultimately solve our most complex problems, from curing diseases to halting climate change. To understand how the architects of this technology actually view it, look at how they describe its economic potential. They see AI as the equivalent of discovering a new continent with 100 billion people on it, ready to work entirely for free. But that frictionless experience requires a massive physical apparatus. Industry terms like automation and the cloud are specifically designed to keep your eyes off the heavy industrial infrastructure, making those computations possible. This technology relies on a massive physical network. To see how these queries actually function, we have to examine the material world of natural resources and human labor hidden beneath the interface. If you want to find the cloud, you have to look inside warehouses the size of small cities. These data centers run thousands of server racks around the clock, consuming gargantuan amounts of electricity to process billions of data points. All that computation generates an extreme amount of heat. To manufacture the advanced microchips and keep these servers from melting down, AI facilities require massive volumes of water, actively depleting local freshwater reserves in the process. The physical toll extends further down the supply chain. Before a server rack can be assembled, it requires a precise cocktail of rare earth metals, specifically cobalt, lithium, and tungsten. Extracting those materials is a brutal, intensely manual process. Deep in the global south, workers pull these minerals from the earth using rudimentary tools, absorbing the physical punishment required to build Silicon Valley's hardware. The companies promising to use AI to solve the climate emergency are simultaneously drying up rivers, gobbling up electricity, and hollowing out the earth to power their own models. Moving from the hardware up to the software, the system runs into another massive physical limitation. A computer program doesn't naturally know what a stop sign or a pedestrian looks like. A human being has to manually teach it by labeling thousands upon thousands of images. This map shows the invisible labor force training algorithms. The World Bank estimates 150 million people do this data work globally. As demand for human data shoots up, that number has recently grown to nearly 430 million workers worldwide. This workforce is largely made up of desperate populations in places like India, Bulgaria, and even female prisons in Finland. They spend hours drawing bounding boxes around images and categorizing text prompts for fractions of a cent per task. The tech industry builds its autonomous products by repackaging the manual labor of hundreds of millions of low-wage, outsourced workers. The most critical part of training an AI model isn't teaching it what to say, but teaching it what to avoid. To prevent an algorithm from generating toxic responses, humans must first review the internet's most disturbing content to create safety filters. Silicon Valley outsources this work to countries like Kenya, where moderators are paid as little as $2 a day to act as the psychological filters for our digital tools. They sit in isolated offices, spending their shifts reading and watching explicit accounts of murder, graphic sexual violence, and child exploitation, so that the final AI product is safe for Western consumers. These workers are kept quiet through strict non-disclosure agreements and aggressive anti-union tactics. Often left with severe anxiety, insomnia, and PTSD, they are treated as entirely disposable. This dynamic represents a form of digital colonialism, where Western tech giants export their toxic waste to the global South, paying vulnerable populations a pittance to clean up the content their algorithms are forbidden to touch. Why do the most heavily funded corporations in the world refuse to offer basic protections or decent wages to the very people powering their products? The answer lies in the philosophical bedrock of Silicon Valley leadership. This cluster of ideologies is known as TESCREAL, with its core pillar being a concept called long-termism. Long-termism argues that humanity's ultimate destiny is to build a sprawling, multi-galactic civilization. To achieve this, these companies believe they must create artificial general intelligence, a supercomputer capable of colonizing the universe and ensuring our survival for millennia. This extreme sci-fi utopian vision acts as a convenient moral loophole. By focusing entirely on a hypothetical future paradise, executives can dismiss the environmental destruction and human suffering happening right now as an insignificant drop in the ocean. AI systems are currently amplifying long-standing patterns of resource and labor extraction. If the foundation of this technology requires the exploitation of the vulnerable today, we have to ask who the future victims of this progress will be.